Okay.
Hello, and thank you for Jamie and Karen to join me. They are both presenters at our upcoming conference. It's my pleasure now to ask them for a quick introduction about their background. Who wants to start?
I can go first.
Sure.
Thanks, Rainier. I'm Karen Walker. I'm the Associate Director of Research Development at Arizona State University. We're really excited to be coming to the conference this year. My background is originally in biotechnology. I worked in biotech doing molecular diagnostic assays for about 15 years. Then came to Arizona State and switched over, started working in our research office. Our goals at that time are in this original iteration of what's now our research development office. Still the same goals, basically trying to make our researchers' proposals more competitive and more successful. And so with that, I was originally doing some what they called analyst work, but it wasn't quite competitive intelligence at that time. We were pulling a lot of data, but I wouldn't say it was necessarily doing a ton of competitive work. But I started thinking, well, who are we competing with? Shouldn't we know more about who's winning these awards? And going out, and I started looking at that data, and that's when I discovered SCIP and the best practices that they promoted, and then learned, wow, there's like a whole field called competitive intelligence. And so with that, started learning about those best practices and implementing them in our office, and then discovering that other universities aren't doing competitive intelligence. Why not? And so it's really been a path for us in our office of learning about competitive intelligence, taking those practices and adapting them to our university research office environment, and then just building out our team, which Jamie is a part. And so Jamie, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and your background?
Sure. Hi, I'm Jamie Burns. I'm a senior research analyst at Arizona State University, and I've worked on our competitive intelligence team for about 3.5 years. And so at ASU, I focus on federal research funding and really trying to help determine how ASU and our faculty can position themselves to be the most competitive when they're applying for funding through various different proposals. And so our CI team works on just a wide range of projects, and we analyze federal trends in anything from space research and AI to green chemistry and sustainability. So we kind of are all over the map. Prior to ASU, I completed my master's degree at Columbia University's School of International and Public Affairs, where I focused on international security policy and applied science.
Okay, that sounds like a very broad background and of course scope for UCI work. And I think many of the practitioners at the conference will not be aware that universities fight for funds, fight for students, fight for whatever it takes to really be successful, especially in the US, where you two, of course, come from. In other countries, it's a bit more regulated. And then, of course, there might be a different way of getting funding as well as students. But it's very interesting. So you already mentioned, Karen, that you sort of took a sip out of this competitive intelligence world and fell in love with it, I guess, and then applied more and more methodologies and built the case for your university. Can you talk a little bit more about your sort of experience in what we call industrial or business-related competitive intelligence, and of course your idea to forward this whole notion and the discipline?
Yeah. So it really was just a matter of, figuring out that a lot of these practices and principles could be applied to the work we were doing. Like Jamie said, we mostly focus on federal funding for our grants here at ASU. There's other sources. So there is industry, there is philanthropic grants. But I was able to find a lot of information on federal grants because our government publishes information on what's been funded in the past in extensive detail. Finding that was like a mother lode. So, you know, having that past information gave me names of, you know, other universities, the different investigators who were awarded, how much they were awarded, all the details about the particular research that was done. And so, you know, having all that information, it's very similar to like having marketing information, you know, so I was able to take that and build off of it, find trends, all sorts of things, and be able to go back to like our faculty and say, well, you know, we know that there are these particular patterns that we're seeing. We know that if you want to be successful, you need to do A, B, and C with your proposal. So it was just taking those practices from Skip and applying it in this particular realm of you know, academic funding. So that was basically the idea, was just taking all the ideas we got from, you know, doing Skip training and saying, how can this be applied to what we are doing in our little world?
Okay, that's of course a very interesting approach. But now your actual presentation is not only about how you apply as a case study CI for your own university, but I understand you will be talking a bit more about other issues as well. So please help me to get some ideas of what you will be talking about.
Yeah, so Karen and I come at CI, as she said, through this academic lens. And so in our presentation, we want to share a little bit about academic CI and kind of what it looks like, but then we also want to dive into how CI professionals in industry can apply the CI techniques that we use to analyze universities, really kind of all in the aim of, if you're looking for a university partner to fuel innovative breakthroughs and kind of, you know, develop this really robust relationship, how do you determine who the most competitive and the best fit is out there scanning the university profile? So we'll share a lot of the techniques that we use to scan universities, determine who the top performers are, and that sort of thing. Yeah, so we're both really looking forward to presenting and meeting so many new people and really sharing what we know and also learning from everyone. And I think it's going to be a great experience.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm sure about that. Technology scouting and other disciplines within CI, of course, will benefit from such an approach. And as you said, from your specific lens. So thank you very much. Looking forward to your presentation at the conference.
Thank you.